Hey, welcome back to week 6 of SMOGTOUR. For this week is going to be OU 6th Gen, and guess what? We are so close to the end and your boy ain't doing well, so I need some tips. Feel free to leave in the comment section below. But I'm just going to show you replay against an opponent I had against Raza, and this was for round 1. He had the team that I could definitely beat. I do have Mammoth Swine who could take care of his Tornadoes, who could take care of his Garchomp, and yeah, I could definitely work around his other mons. I have Hydreigon, which is choice specs, can definitely do a lot to any of his mons, especially Clefable with the Flash Canyon Boom. Talflame could definitely take care of Clefable. Talflame could definitely take care of his Tornadoes and his Quandon. My Flowbone and Mandibles can definitely take care of Metagross, Mega Metagross, I'm assuming. And obviously, my Register could definitely tank his Clefable, his Rotom, and his Tornadoes. So let's just see how we do, because I want to advance as far as possible. But let's see. We're going to play. So he decides to lead off with his Garchomp. I decided to leave Hydreigon here. I paused here because I was fearful of him going for Outrage or Dragon Claw, even though the fact that he had a lead Garchomp should tell me that he's more likely than not to go for Stealth Rock and Toxic and even Dragon Tail. But I made a switch anyway just to make sure, just to kind of gauge. He also switches out, as you see here, into his Tornadoes, which tells me he definitely lead. So he goes to knockoff here just to see what I have, I guess. So I go for Toxic. This is my best chance just to weather him down, even though he does have Regenerate, so it doesn't really make sense. I should have went for maybe Foul Play, I don't know. But he goes for U-turn. He U-turns Garchomp on my Registeel. I decide to switch back into Mandibles, expecting to go throw Rocks. So here I'm going to defog as he goes for Toxic on me. So here, honestly, he could have just continued going for Rocks. And then if I defog, obviously Toxic will keep wearing me off. So he definitely had an advantage here. But he decides here that he's going to switch out to Clefable as I just throw another Toxic, hoping to catch his Rotom or something like that. But that was a smart move in his part. I go to Mammoth Swine here as he actually, I actually expected him to go back to Garchomp because he really wants to get Rocks up, especially since obviously, like I said earlier, Toxic would definitely weigh me down. I expected that, so I go Mammoth Swine. And even if he actually stays in with the Clefable, I do have a good matchup against the Clefable. I could live anything, and I am Choice Banded, so I could definitely do a lot of damage. So he goes in Garchomp, even better for me. Here I went for Icicle Crash, expecting him to stay in this time and go for EQ or something like that. He might be focused Sash for all I know, but he decided to switch into Rotom, which is fine, as Icicle Crash is going to only do 30%. I should have just put that and went for knockoff, but nonetheless it's still a good move. So I'm gonna go into Hydreigon here as he just Will-O-Wisp. This is fine because now I could just go for a big move like Draco Meteor and be able to take him out. I actually expect him to stay in to go for Volt, but he makes the obvious play and go into Clefable. And as you'll see later on, a lot of the moves that I was expecting him to do were fairly obvious, and I should have kind of known this because this is the first round and you don't want to over predict too early. So I just been over predicting here, expecting him to stay in, and expecting him to over predict me, but he goes into Clefable, which is the obvious move. So I'm going to switch out to Mammoth Swine here as he just goes for a Flamethrower. I'm pretty sure he was trying to capture my Registeel, but he actually captured my Mammoth Swine, which worked for him as well. But he gets a crit here, and that is weathering me down a lot. Because if he decided to throw Rocks, I only have very few turns left. So this wasn't great. But nonetheless, I do have advantage here. So I decided to go for Icicle Crash again here, expecting him to stay in. So pretty obvious. I should just double switch into Hydreigon, expecting that. He goes for Will-O-Wisp again, and once again that move was fairly obvious because I mean, he could go for Volt, I guess, on my Mammoth Swine, expecting to switch in, but he wasn't going to do that. Instead he went for Will-O-Wisp. If he was over predicting me, he would have went for Volt, expecting me to switch out and be locked into Icicle Crash. He decided to go for Willow. I could obviously switch into my Draco to negate that. So again, playing pretty obvious. But he did get what he wanted, which is to burn my Registeel. So he votes here, and as I get off my Vox, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Vox again. So I think I sent out my Mammoth Swine. No, I sent out my Slowbone just in case he goes for Earthquake. Again, I wanted to be safe. Here he goes in Quandon. I do crit him here, unfortunately, but I don't get the burn. So at this point, he could just knock me out with any move. He goes for knockoff on my Mandibles. Since I don't have fucking helmet, he's able to go for another knockoff and be able to knock me out. I go to Hydreigon here. Basically, I can do anything I want. Here, I decided to go for Flash Cannon here because the first time he didn't overpredict, so I was like, oh, he's not gonna overpredict again. So he's probably gonna go to Kofil this time. But he overpredicts me, so I guess, yeah, I guess if this is how he played, I guess he kind of expected that, which is good on his part. But I do go for Flash Cannon, which is an obvious move. And if I had one for Draco, it would definitely kill him. It would have made it easier. He goes for U-turn, expecting that. So right now I'm really looking bad because Rox does not favor Teleflame. He goes for Flamethrower again. He crits my Register, so I don't even have a chance to do anything. I go Mammoth Swine here. He's probably expecting Earthquake, but instead I go for Ethical Crash once again, expecting to bring in his Rotom. I switch out here, expecting to go for U-turn, and he does go for that. And he's going to go into Kofil, and Kofil is super annoying. I'm going to switch out into Talflame here because it's my perfect opportunity to just roost if he goes for Moonblast, yeah. Because I am special defensive. Here he's switching out Metal Growth, and roost up here. Here he makes a great play though. I just want to switch him out as I don't carry Flare Blitz. He just now basically make my Talflame useless. Very good on his part. He goes into Rotom as I just go for Psychic, predicted that, as he don't even die. So here he goes from Pain Split, which is another good move. So I think he's over predicting me, and he's a better player in this round, 100%. Gotta give props to what props do. He goes for Volt Switch out into Tornadus T. And I go for Skull here, not enough to knock him out. He's obviously going to go for U-turn here, why not? As I'm just going to sack my Teleflame so he doesn't do that. And then I go into a Mammoth Swine here, and obviously I'm not going to go for Ice Shard, but I'm expecting him to expect that, but he's smarter than that, goes for U-turn, able to knock me out. Plus, then I got you. At this point I just lost. And and people laugh, I think. No, some other guy was like laughing, yeah. Oh no, he was laughing because I set the timer off. I didn't mean to set the timer off, honestly. I just disconnected because I just felt it was a waste of time to continue, but I should have continued just to not be salty. But nonetheless, GG to you, Vaza. Yeah, well played, you know, from beginning to end. In the beginning, you did play pretty obvious, so I figured, you know, I was playing with the predictable mindset. And then towards the end, you definitely proved that you outplayed me 100%. So good game on your part. This was my best team for 6th gen. I've always won with this team, so it was very disappointing to lose. Man, I lost first round, and we are going to move on to Saturday, which is the next day that I play. My next opponent goes to my name of Decem. I decided not to go with the same team. I decided to switch it up a little bit. I felt like Beidoof could definitely use be a highlight for any match because Beidoof is rarely used. But before this team, I was actually going to use my Victory Bug team, and Victory Bug team would actually do beautifully for my opponent because again, Slug Bomb on Clefairy, Weather Ball with Sunny Day on Metagross, same thing with his Magnezone, and then Soul Beam on his Seismic Toad, and then Weather Ball on his Amoonguss, and Soul Beam on his Landorus. It would have just been perfect. Here I have to work more so around his mines. A little tougher because he does have Amoonguss, which is always a threat, and Clefairy, which is always a threat. So let's just see how we do. So he's a Havana, I said you two. He goes into a Seismic Toad. I go into Hydreigon. I just go for a big Draco. Again, the obvious play. He decides to switch out into a Clefairy. He goes to Karma here, and that's a huge threat for me. But I don't know why he switched out. I guess he was thinking that my Slowbro had something. But I go into Registeel. He goes for Rocks. I go for Rocks of my own. He switches back into Clefairy as I switch it back into our Slowbro. I think we do this for another turn, which is kind of funny. He switches out into Seismic Toad as I switch out back into Registeel, and we do it for like 3 turns until he goes for Karma, and then he goes for Flamethrower. Here goes Seismic Toss just to tell him that I'm not a threat. So he's fully able to go Flamethrower. Now just trying to go for Thunder Wave him, just equip him a little bit. I'm gonna go for Iron Head. Unfortunately, I have to depend on attacks. This is what Registeel does anyway. So here at this point, I go for another Iron Head just in case he wants to softball. He goes into Landorus. Luckily, I'm clear body, so I'm able to do neutral damage. I switch out here into slow burn as I believe he goes to a U-turn. A knockoff he actually does, which is a lot of damage. So obviously leftovers with high attack. Wow. I go into Donovan here, expecting him to go for another knockoff. He knocked off lefties. That's fine. I'm going to go for a knockoff of my own into his incoming Seismic Toad. Knock off his lefty, so that helps a bit. He goes for Toxic on my Hydreigon, unfortunately. Here he goes back into Clefable, and I think I go for Dark Pulse here. I am Bandit, so I was hoping that I would catch this one with a flinch. I have a better chance, but he's able to go for Softball. And I'm losing to Toxic damage, obviously. I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse, hoping that this one it definitely hits, but he's able to recover full, not be flinched. So my hacks didn't work for me. He's able to recover in full as I spring on my Registeel, which is very unfortunate. He goes into Lander Therian as I just go for Seismic Toss. It does good chunk, I'll say. As I expect to go for EQ this time, so I'm going to actually switch into Hydreigon as he just goes for EQ. Here I'm going for Fire Blast because I know his Clefable was still available. Yeah, so I go for Fire Blast. Should do like big damage, 58%. And I do die unfortunately, but I'm able to get that damage off. Here I go to Barbarelle. I'm trying to settle on him because given that I'm expecting him to not to be unaware, I'm expecting him to be Magic Guard. So I'm gonna go for Curse here, but he knows this, so he's probably I'm pretty sure he does Scarf. So I go for Curse, and this isn't favorable because he's able to go for Volt. But thankfully I switch into my Donphan, and he goes back to Lander Therian, and I'm just going to Earthquake, expecting, I don't know why I was expecting over there, but he goes for EQ of his own. I just go for knockoff, able to knock off his lefties, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting me to go for Ice Shard, so I just knock him out just like that. Medicals is a big threat as always, as he's just gonna go for EQ and knock me out. I'm gonna go into Slow Bone here, just in case if you have Thunder Punch. So I'm gonna switch right out into Registeel as he reveals he does have Thunder Punch. And that's the threat right there. Here he goes for EQ, I think. No, he locks me with a Magnesium. I was actually hoping for him to go for EQ just to take advantage and go for T-Wave on him, but he doesn't do that. He goes for Volt. That damage tells me he's definitely Scarf. Here I go Seismic Toss on Seismic Toad, which is funny. I go into Slowbro as he just goes for Earth Power. Yeah. Here I'm able to just go for a Trick Room. And I think after Psychic, yeah, he should knock him out. And he goes to Moongaze. He's hoping for me to go for Psychic. Obviously, it won't knock him out, but he will go for Giga Drain as I send out my Registeel. Here, I think, what do I do? I go for Seismic Toss as he goes for Giga Drain. Here, I'm trying to go for T-Wave, but I think he predicts me and goes into his Magnesium, which is a really smart play, yeah. So, a very smart play. Yeah, very obvious. Trick Room wears down. He's able to just go for a free T-Bow. Not enough to kill me, so that tells me definitely choice Scarf. I'm able to hit him one last time before he knocks me out. I go on Galay here, and I make a Revolution. He decides to go for T-Bow as I go for Bulk Up. So here I'm hoping to live this. I do, and I'm able to revenge him with the Drain Punch. I think that was a bad move on my part because now he could just bring in his Metagross, and Metagross does have a T-Punch. The T-Punch could knock me out after his Medium Mass, especially +1 attack. So yeah, I said GG because if I switch into my Barbarelle and get to regenerate, it doesn't really matter because T-Bolt will definitely kill me from that range. He's probably expecting my Slowbone to be Mega Evolution since I don't have any Mega, but I don't, so I do lose this game unfortunately. So GG to you, Decem. Clefable was definitely a threat. If I had taken this guy out earlier with my Hydreigon, like say Flinch Happen or something like that, I would have a better chance. If I had not used this team, instead I had a Mandibuzz, Mandibuzz would definitely fail against his Metagross. But I decided I wanted a fun team. I wanted to showcase my Barbarelle. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun team. I wasn't playing too seriously, which I should have. I mean, I'm still playing pretty serious because this team has actually won me a good amount of battles. But nonetheless, your boy ain't doing well, and this will conclude week 6 of this tournament. I lost both rounds in round 1, and that's very disappointing. So yeah. Yeah, guys, I guess I will try and redeem myself for the next 3 weeks. Hopefully I can do that, and yeah, it would be much better next week. Until next time, guys, peace.